Welcome to Nin, Dr. Feelgood. As far as opening hand goes, yes, I love it. Great opening hand. We have Temple of Epiphany to get some good scry going. We have 4 lands in the hand. We have Pyromancer's Goggles, which is going to allow us to really kind of use our mind's eye to kind of double some of these red mana spells. And then Seething Song to allow us to get a little bit ahead on mana to end up with a hopefully a really good epic experiment. So this is a perfect opening hand. Let's go and go for Temple of Epiphany. Let's get the scry going. The scurry. The fever, the insanity. Coalition Relic, yes, we're going to put that on top. I do like that. And then we're going to go kick the turn to our opponent. We're playing Nin, Dr. Feelgood. We're going to go to her, say, hey, I'm not feeling so good. And she's going to get her shotgun out. Not an actual shotgun, but a gun that administers medicine shots and say, hey, here's an epic experiment for 10. Hopefully this sounds good. All right, let's see what we're drawn to. Drawn to Coalition Relic. Let's go and get down Mountain. Nothing for 2 other than Nin, so let's go and get her down, and then anything else, we'll kick it back over there. We're playing against Gonti, Lord of Luxury. Oh, excuse me, actually, Nin does have an activated ability. Nin deals X damage to target creature. That creature controller draws X cards. We're playing against Gonti, Lord of Luxury. Whenever Gonti enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of those cards face down, then you may spend your manas of any color to cast that spell, and our opponent ends up going for a go for the throat on Nin, the pain artist, for a malpractice lawsuit, I guess, or something like that. Didn't want Nin on the battlefield. It's not the end of the world. Nin's role in this deck is strictly just to draw us some cards, so I'll kind of explain that role here in a second. Let's go and get Mountain down. Could go for Seething Song into Pyromancer's Goggles, but I'd kind of like to hold on to Seething Song, especially with that on the battlefield. Let's go and get down Coalition Relic. That's going to be 1-2. And then we'll go and put a charge counter on there because, yeah, sometimes we could leave it up as open mana representing a counter spell, but with just 1 mana, sometimes I forget and I hit the F6 button, and I don't want to do that because it's hard to remember a Coalition Relic charge counter sometimes whenever you're going for different stuff like that. All right, opponent's going to go for a Expedition Map activation, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. Okay, get the charge counter, and then anything else, that is it. Now, as far as Nin's role in the deck, there are a few other spellcasters that we could put at the lead of this deck. At its core, it's basically just kind of a spell slinger deck. We're not really winning with Storm, we're not really winning with this. We're just looking to end up with these really crazy board states. Stuff like Pyromancer's Goggles, Mythic's Mastery. We just really want to build cast these epic cards, Epic Experiment. Pretty much some of the main weaknesses for the deck are Epic Experiment for around 8, 9, or 10, somewhere in that range. That's going to give you the best results. Mythic's Mastery, overloading your entire graveyard. That's always a lot of fun. It's just little interactions like that is pretty much what we're looking for. Do we want to put a charge counter on? That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll still allow us to get down something for 2. Let's do so. We're going to take that charge counter off. We can also, let's go and do this. Let's put a charge counter on Coalition Relic. That's going to be 2 that we're going to take off. That'll be just enough mana for Pyromancer's Goggles. Let's go double red on this one. That'll make the Goggles really happy. And then we can actually go for Halimar Depths. Just kind of look at the top card of our library. Let's see how we want to sequence this one out. So 1, 2, 3. Get that down. Let's go and go for Halimar Depths. And it's going to be Legacy, Faithless Looting, and Howl of Horde. All right, that actually works out really well with Mythic's Mastery. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Howl of the Horde. Let's go for Legacy, and let's put Faithless Looting on top of our library. Anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, we have a ton of lanes in the hand. With us drawing into that Faithless Looting, we'll be able to pay that 1 red mana with Pyromancer's Goggles. We're going to be able to copy that, and we're going to be able to draw 2 more cards and discard 2 more cards, which is going to work out really well with Mythic's Mastery. So hopefully we can kind of start crafting a Graveyard Storm-based thing and then kind of go from there. Now, the only downside would be maybe something like our opponent going for Gonti this turn, which I just now realized they can get down Gonti, and they can maybe kind of steal some of those cards out. At least we know what's on top of our library. It's Faithless Looting and Legacy in the other one. Yeah, hopefully, because Faithless Looting will work really well at this point right now. If they do end up taking Faithless Looting, it's not the end of the world. We'll miss out on the top 3 cards of our library. At least we'll get a good look at some of the other stuff that we do have, but that'll really kind of push our Mythic's Mastery kind of game plan. But I'm just going to go for Cage Sun, which is actually going to allow them to still go and tap out for about 6 mana off of those last ones. All right, there we go. We got Gonti coming down. Okay, so we know what's on top of our library is going to be Legacy. We know one of them is Faithless Looting and Howl of the Horde. So at least we know 3 of the 4 cards is really not that good. If they want to get into something like Faithless Looting, if I'm a Gonti player, I'd probably end up going for Faithless Looting, or like Legacy. That would be another good option for us to go for. So it just kind of depends on what they took out of that one. But if they don't end up casting Faithless Looting on their second main phase, we'll kind of, all right, so we'll see what else they took off of that one. You don't really have a ton of good stuff in here that cares about. All right, do we put it? No, we'll hold off on that charge counter. We don't really have a ton of good removal in here, is what I should say. You know, it's just basically all spell based stuff. Thran Dynamo, and let's see, Pyromancer's Goggles. Yeah, let's go and get down Thran Dynamo. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get down Shivan Reef. Let's go and tap out for Thran Dynamo. It's gonna be 1, 2. Double red, and then we're going to tap out on Halimar Depths. And let's go and go for Nin the Paint Artist. This is going to be 4 total mana. So we're looking at blue, and then red off Shivan Reef, and then 2 off of Thran Dynamo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, get down Nin the Paint Artist. So at this point right now, we have a ton of mana. So hopefully, if Nin the Paint Artist can stick around until next turn, what we'll end up doing is popping Nin for a lot of card draw. That's pretty much what that's the reason why I do have Nin as the actual commander of this deck, is because there's certain turns to where, you know, we've got our mana base established. We have Thran Dynamo, we have Pyromancer's Goggles ready to go to copy any sort of spell. We have Coalition Relic. Once we kind of end up with all this mana, we need to do something with it. You know, it's great to have Mizzix's Mastery, but we don't have anything to do with it. No graveyard, and we only have Seething Song. It's really hard to get some stuff moving. So being able to tap out Nin targeting herself to draw a bunch of cards really kind of helps us work towards that final epic experiment, or whatever sort of what we consider our epic experiment. Now, we are running a few cards in here that allow us to, you know, pop other creatures other than Nin, but she knows her role, and that's to draw some cards. So we have like Care's Keep in here. We can get those Kobold tokens going. And then we're also running a few token generators in here. We do have the Locust God, and then we also have Dawson of Perfection to kind of get that going. I'm just going to go for Noxious Gear Hulk. Yeah, that's going to get it. It's going to take care of Nin. That's fine. Yeah. Now, that will be them swinging across for 9. It's going to be 11 coming across next turn, so we need to get something going. We'll see what we can draw into. We do have a few draw spells in here, so hopefully we can get that going. And if we just straight up rip into Epic Experiment, you know, we do have kind of the mana to support. Oh, man, I forgot to put the charge counter on there. All right, Red Sun Zenith. Do we want to go for that off Noxious Gear Hulk? We can actually go for that for Sad Robot. I'm actually okay with leaving... Then the Paint Artist is going to be 6, so we're looking at about 5 total mana. That'll give him an additional card draw. It's almost like I'm kind of like leaving Gonti on the battlefield. I'll only give them an additional 1 off of that one. Yeah, sorry about that Coalition Relic charge. I wanted to leave up some sort of represent some sort of counter magic. I was going to get the get the mountain down. So we go for Red Sun Zenith on Noxious Gear Hulk and Sad Robot. They're still looking at a 3 clock coming across. I just don't want to give them any extra value. So we're looking at about Epic for 5. Let's go and tap out on Pyromancer's Goggles. We're going to choose Noxious Gear Hulk. That's going to be 1 red mana. It's going to allow us to copy that one. Let's tap out on Thran Dynamo. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 and then 2. Yeah. That's going to be 5. Okay, that'll be enough on that one. Let's go Red Sun Zenith. We're going to be able to copy Red Sun Zenith. That should still be able to get that red copy for 5 too off of that Pyromancer's Goggles. So we're going to get that down. And if we need to, we can go for the Seething Song to get a little bit of extra mana to kind of take care of some of these creatures on the battlefield. Or at least if we want to get down and in on the back end. That's going to be 6 mana. 1, 2, 3. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can actually get that going. So let's go and make a copy of Red Sun Zenith. And then we're going to choose Sad Robot on that one. It's going to still get him a card draw, but at this point right now, if we go for Gonti, that's going to allow them to look at 4 cards out of the top of our library. So at this point right now, I just kind of want to do that. And yeah, and I kind of do like going for Seething Song. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Yeah, let's make sure that Nin does cost it. Yeah, Nin does cost 6. So let's go and do that. Let's go Seething Song, and then 1, 2. It's going to add that 5 mana to our mana pool. And basically, it's going to allow us to do something with Mizzix's Mastery. Tap out for 1 blue. Let's go for Nin the Paint Artist. Get her down. We're going to go and put that charge counter on Coalition Relic so I don't forget about it, because it is very easy to forget about it. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. So, like I said, opponent is sitting to about 2 cards in hand. We'll see what else they're going to go for as far as ooh, what are they tapping out for? That's going to be 8, 6... Oh, Hero's Downfall. Okay, so one of those cards was Hero's Downfall. Now, that does put them in a spot where they're going to be swinging in with Gonti as a 3-4. We are sitting at 22, so it's not the end of the world on this one. We'll still go ahead and tap out for Nin again. That's going to be Nin getting at 8 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we'll have more than enough to go for that one. Basically, at this point right now, we just need to get some card draw going. So hopefully we'll get some of that going, and we'll be able to build a good epic experiment for our opponent to kind of show it off. Okay, opponent's going to go for Yawgmoth's Will. Enters the Exile Zone. They're online for Go for the Throat and, I guess, a Polluted Delta and Expedition map if they wanted to. We'll see what else they're going to go for. We have no creatures out there. And then, yeah, if that's all they're going to do with the Yawgmoth's Will, I'll definitely take that one. Okay, the opponent's going to go for Hero's Downfall on their own Gonti. There we go. There's a Gonti player right there. I like it. Yeah, we're trying to keep Gonti. Yeah, because Gonti, keep him off the battlefield. It's pretty good. But you got to do what you got to do to get it back. All right, opponent's going to get another Gonti look at the top 4 cards of our library. Now, they have a ton of mana on the battlefield. They do have coffers. The one thing we do have to watch out for is them tapping out for a really big epic experiment. That would not be good for us. So hopefully it's going to be the race to finding epic experiment or some sort of extra value out of our hand or some sort of card draw. Because that would be, we do have like Pull from Tomorrow where it's blue, blue, X, draw X cards and discard 1 card. So something like that would definitely not help us out. So we're just going to hope that hopefully they just get into some of our support cards or some of our duplicate spells. So we'll see what else they're going to go for. They're going to go for Expedition Map Crack on this one. Again, our opponent did search up a deserted temple, a desert temple. I don't know, just every time I see it, I always just think of like a big old temple with a bunch of dessert in it. And I don't know why, I just have a very visual mind sometimes. Our opponent's going to go for the throat on Gonti again. And that will send Gonti back to the command zone, which they will have to recast it off that one. Let's see what we draw into. Draw into Curious Homunculus. All right. We're going to go and get that charge counter. We're looking at Nin for 8. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're just going to take the charge counter off at this point right now. We'll go and add blue to our mana pool. Let's go and go for Nin. It's going to be blue and a red. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and tap out for red. And 1, 2. And then we'll tap out on Shivian Reef. There we go. Let's get down Curious. Excuse me. It's going to be blue and then blue. It's going to go for Mana Confluence, and then we're going to go kick the turn over our opponent. Yeah, like I said, we'll go and put a charge counter on Coalition Relic so I don't forget. So, we have Visic Mastery in the hand. We're pretty much ready to go, other than we just need to draw some cards. So, now with us having Curious Homunculus on the battlefield, if there are 3 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, we're going to get him to flip. It basically keeps that same effect. Either Curious taps out for some colorless mana, or it's going to give it a reduced cost off some of your instant and sorcery spells. So, at this point right now, since we have a ton of mana, we have a way to automatically double one of our red spells. We're basically going to might end up using Curious. If Nin the Paint Artist can stick around on the battlefield, if our opponent doesn't have any more spot removal, pretty much I think the only... We do have a few direct damage spells in here, stuff like Prophetic Bolt, so that would be something that would be problematic for us. But if Nin sticks around, like I said, we'll probably end up going for Nin's ability on Curious Homunculus. If we want to, we can even add that colorless mana to our mana pool before we proceed into our turn if we want to draw a bunch of cards and then kind of go from there. But it'll probably be us tapping out for a pretty good chunk of mana. Opponent's going to go for Knowledge Exploration. Search target opponent's library for an instant or sorcery card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Okay, let's see what our opponent's going to search up on this one. Okay, so our opponent ends up going for a Overflowing Insight off of that Knowledge Exploitation. Exploitation. I think I've always called it Exploration. But anyway, Exploitation. So let's see if we're going to survive this one. Drawing 7 cards into Gonti is always not the best for us. So let's see what they're going to roll out on this one. Okay, our opponent ends up going, they had Armisium Mortars, deal 4 damage to each creature that we control. The good thing about them going for Overflowing Insight is hopefully if the game doesn't end this turn, Sword of Feast and Famine, Gonti can't swing in. We'll see if they have any sort of haste options, like, Feast and Famine, not Feast or Famine, but the Swiftfoot Boots or something like that. But at least we're still online for a Mystic's Mastery. That will be us kind of tapping out for a pretty good chunk of our turn. But at least with the Overflowing Insight, we're finally going to be able to get that card draw that we need. And with Knowledge Exploitation, hopefully maybe we can get into one of our opponent's board wipe to kind of clear the board out. That will give them another Gonti trigger. But this has been a pretty swingy match, so I'm actually enjoying it so far. And then, do we want to add that Coalition? Yeah, just in case we need that extra mana. Let's go and put a charge counter on the Coalition Relic trigger, and then we'll kind of start going from there. All right, we're going to hold on to Pyromancer's Goggles on this one. So let's go and go, at this point, we only have about 4 blue sources. Let's go and go double blue on this one. We're okay on red mana. And let's go ahead and go for that Overloaded ability. That's going to be Thran Dynamo, 1, 2, 3 colorless. That's going to be triple red. And then we need to go and tap out for 2 more. We're going to tap out on Halimar Depths, and then we'll go and tap out on Shivan Reef. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to go Mystic's Mastery Overloaded. This is going to give us Seething Song, Overflowing Insight, and Mizzium Mortars. Let's go and do this. Let's go for any certain way we need to sequence this one. I don't think there's any particular way we need to do this. Let's go for Seething Song to add that mana to our mana pool. Let's go Mizzium Mortars on Graveborn Muse. Let's go Overflowing Insight targeting us, not our opponent, and then search target opponent's library for a land card. So see what we can grab off of this one. We still have, we're looking at 1, 2, 3. We still have about 5 mana left over and a double option off Pyromancer's Goggles. So let's see what we can go off of this one. Wretch Confluence, going to have protection from black. We probably need to end up going for something that's just going to take care of the entire board. Yeah, that's going to give him another Gonti trigger, but I think I kind of like going for that one. Or do we need to go? Yeah, because we need to take care of Sword of Feast and Famine at this point right now. They do have 6 cards in the hand. Yeah, let's go for Damnation. I like that one. Let's go for Damnation. We're going to cast Damnation, and we're actually end up with a pretty good storm count. So if we draw into something like Empty the Warrens, hopefully we can end up with some pretty good chunk of goblins on the battlefield. All right, it's going to take care of Gonti, send it back to the command zone. We're going to draw into 7 cards. Okay, unfortunately, don't hit a ton of stuff off of that one, but we get some stuff going. Mizzium Mortars, and then we're going to end up with that Seething Song mana on the battlefield. So we're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10. We can't go for Brass's Bounty, end up with a ton of mana on the battlefield, which I think I really do enjoy. All right, let's go and go for that. Let's go and go forward. Let's make the land drop, though, for the turn. Let's go and go for Island. And let's go and go for Brass's Bounty. That's going to be 1, and then we're going to tap out for 6 total mana. There we go. We're going to be able to double Brass's Bounty. We're going to end up with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 treasure tokens on the battlefield. So at this point right now, what we'll probably end up doing is just tapping out for Gilded Lotus. We'll get Ralzeric down, get down Primal Amulet, and then kind of start going from there. The good thing about Ralzeric is it kind of gives us something to do other than just casting in and then lose to like a burn spell or something like that. Let's go and tap out on Gilded Lotus, go triple blue. Let's go red. Let's go for Ralzeric. And now with Ralzeric, we can actually go for the tap target permanent, then untap another target permanent. Let's go ahead and tap down the swamp. It's Cajun Sun. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll go and tap down the swamp and then untap target permanent. We'll go and untap at this point right now Gilded Lotus. There we go. Untap Gilded Lotus. Let's go and go for triple blue, and we'll tap black off of that one off Urborg. We'll get down Primal Amulet, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. All right, kick it over there. Now, unfortunately, we did hit a really good Overflowing Insight. We finally drawn to about 7 cards. We did get down Brass's Bounty, so we're actually end up with a ton of mana on the battlefield. But at this point right now, we just need something to kind of get our Is It show kicked off, whatever you want to call it on that one. Now, we do have Nin the Paint Artist. We actually get her down. We're looking at about 10 mana, but with a lot of this options out here, we can get some good stuff going. Now, hopefully, if we can push past our opponent with Ralzeric, we can get to that ultimate with that -7. We'll see how many extra lands, extra turns we can take. But either way, this has been a really good back and forth match. Gonti trying to steal Nin's work out there and different things like that. But hopefully, if we can rip into that epic experiment, we'll be able to get some good stuff going. Okay, our opponent went for a Cyclonic Rift off of a Gonti steal. That was brutal. Okay, we can still rebuild from that one, but that hurt. Man, I've been trying to record Nin today, and it has just been a constant hurt fest of just us get our stuff set up and then something bad happens. That was hard. Okay, so let's bounce back. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at Gilded Lotus. That's going to be 3 mana, Thrind Dynamo 4. Yeah, we can get some stuff moving, but that one, that hurt. It goes to show you that when you're playing mono black, you can end up with a lot of good stuff on the battlefield, but allowing Gonti to enter the battlefield to get 4 extra cards, just getting that card advantage in a mono black shell is always really good, especially when you get down something like Cage Sun, get that Sword of Feast and Famine going. In fact, our opponent can actually get Sword of Feast and Famine on Graveborn Muse, swing in for 6, and then get him some really good damage. So that was pretty brutal. I think what happened, hopefully we win on this one, but it's not looking so good, but we're going to try our best. But what really hurt us was that Overflowing Insight. We didn't draw any sort of value spells. We hit a ton of lands off of that one. All right, opponent's going to swing in for 6. It's going to knock us down to 7. At this point, let's go and get discard. We'll get rid of Spire Bluff Canal. A little far away from that one, coming into play untapped. And then we'll see what else they roll out for the turn. And their opponent's going to shift the Sword of Feast and Famine onto that. All right, see what we're drawn to. Now we're still looking at pretty good. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're looking at 8 mana, but at this point right now, we're looking at lethal, them coming across. So we need to get something down. Ralzeric's going to be 3 damage to target. It's not going to take care of Grey Merchant. We can tap out for Nin if we wanted to, but it's going to be really hard for us to do anything outside of that. We're looking at a shock from Steam Vents. We're going to get down City of Brass because we can tap it with Urborg. But unfortunately, we even do have Metallurgic Summonings. We have no instant or sorcery in the hand. We have nothing but artifacts. So let me see. So they swing in for 8. It's going to take care of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we don't have enough to cast Nin because Nin's sitting at 10 total damage. Yeah, I don't think there's really any way we can close this one out other than swinging in for combat. Let me double check. I mean, they can tap a permanent and untap something else if we wanted to. End up with a little extra mana, but us tapping out for 4 mana. Yeah, opponents got it on this one. Good game. Great Gonti showing by our opponent. They played it very well, going for the spot removal on Gonti to really get that card advantage going. That really showed. Yes, indeed it was. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, that goes to show you that when you're playing Gonti, getting card advantage is one of the most important things that you can do. Our opponent being able to go for that prowling. They got to get that overflowing inside that refueled their hand quicker than we could refuel our hand. They played our deck quicker than we could because they were able to look at the top 4 cards of our library, in addition to them playing their deck of mono black control. So that what makes Gonti so fun. Great showing by our opponent. And unfortunately, we tried to get the Is It Fireworks going for you today, but this is one of those decks that I record about 4 or 5 games for every video that I post. And so unfortunately, just sometimes the Is It Fireworks don't come online. But hey, that happens sometimes. But it was really good match for our opponent. Shout out to them. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.